Today we're going to be reviewing the Samsung Galaxy Nexus, powered by Android's Jelly Bean. Let's start off with the dimensions and specs. It's 5.33 inches by 2.67 inches by 0.35. It weighs 4.76 ounces with the battery inside. It has a 4.65-inch screen with a resolution of 1280 by 720, so it has a 720p display. The iPhone 4S has a 326 ppi display, and the Nexus has a 316 ppi display. It has a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor with 1 GB of RAM and a 1750 mAh battery. On the top of the device, you literally have nothing. On the bottom, you get the micro USB connection, the microphone, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On one side, you get the power button and a dock connector, and on the other side, you get the volume rocker. It has a 5-megapixel camera on the back with one LED flash that can shoot video at up to 1080p. There's also a 1.3 megapixel camera on the front that can record at 720p. The Galaxy Nexus only has 16 GB of memory, and it isn't expandable since there is no micro SD card slot. One of the most important features of the phone is the call quality, and with my test calls I had no dropped calls. The earpiece volume is great, and so is the speakerphone during calls. I have never been a fan of Samsung's devices because they feel cheap. This device does feel cheap, but feels very good in the hand. The back piece has this texture which at times can be slippery, but makes the phone look good and feel higher quality. As far as the sides, I believe that Samsung could have done better. The plastic is easily scratched and in my opinion looks cheap. As far as physical buttons, the Nexus only has two, the volume up and down and the power button. With this phone you get on-screen buttons that show up when the phone is on. The on-screen buttons include the back button, the home button, and the multitasking button. At first I thought it was going to be annoying, but I actually enjoyed it. They are very responsive, and when the screen is rotated, they are always on the left side of the screen. The screen looks amazing. You can't really see it with my camera via YouTube, but the display looks great. The screen is curved. It's called Contour Display. This phone may not have a Gorilla display, but it still has a very good screen. The camera on this device is good. Google states it has a zero shutter lag. Let's take some pictures of the iPhone with the flash off and then with the flash on so you can see how fast it takes them. It also has a panorama mode that allows you to easily take panoramic pictures. Here are some pictures and videos I took with the Galaxy Nexus. Let's open up macrumors.com on the Android browser. The page loads fast, and I can start scrolling even though it's not loaded completely. I can even have two videos playing while I scroll, and it's still fast. When I zoom in, you can see how crisp the text looks. You get to a point where it can't zoom, and the text keeps looking amazing. Now let's go to html5test.com website and see what score we get in the Android browser and Google Chrome on the same device. Of course, Chrome is much faster, no surprise there. The default browser on Android has never been great, but it has definitely improved from Gingerbread or ICS. One thing that's great about Jelly Bean is that when you try to add a widget, the icons in that page will automatically rearrange and make so the widget can fit. You don't get a widget option when you hold down on the screen anymore. You have to go into the applications, select widgets, then drag it to the home screen where you want it. Speaking of the home screen, you can change from one page to another really fast. It doesn't freeze and it doesn't slow down. Taking a screenshot is very simple. Just press and hold the power and volume down button until the screen takes the screenshot. You will see a small annotation. The new multitasking feature is amazing. You can swipe up and down to see your open apps, and then you can close it by swiping it to the left or right. The speaker on this device is very disappointing. It's underpowered and results in very low volume when playing music, video, and games.
Hey, welcome to SourceFed. I'm Joe Beretta.
I'm Lee.
Yep. Holy crap, people are weird. Seriously, like break up with your girlfriend and break into her house 5 years later so you can secretly live in her attic kind of weird. That last sentence that I just said? Hey, welcome to SourceFed. I'm Joe Beretta.
I'm Lee.
Yep. Holy crap, people are weird. Seriously, like break up with your girlfriend and break into her house 5 years later so you can secretly live in her attic kind of weird. That last sentence that I just said happened in real...
I don't have 4G in my area yet, so I'm going to be doing a 3G and Wi-Fi test. It gets amazing 3G and Wi-Fi speeds for where I live. Even though it has a large battery, with all it has to power and the screen using most of it, it sometimes doesn't last a full day under heavy usage. I recommend getting a car charger and having one with you when you're going to be away from home for a long time. My overall opinion of this phone is that it's an amazing phone. Android 4.1 Jelly Bean works faster, is much more fluid and smoother. I personally went with the device because it doesn't have modified software on it. It has pure Google, pure Jelly Bean.